Hello everybody, today we are going to explain what we call IBS. IBS, it's illness, it is used by a lot of doctors, it doesn't mean nothing since last researches. So IBS, it's for irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, so what is IBS? What is IBS? We are going to see. Okay, what is IBS? IBS come from food poisoning. Okay, so come from food poisoning. Maybe you had before, maybe 10 years later, you had a food poisoning. So normal food poisoning, we throw away everything and we have diarrhea and later it's okay, we feel good. But sometimes people, even they have this reaction to throw everything away, to have diarrhea for 3 or 4 days. Maybe they don't have good autoimmune system. So maybe there will be infection. So when you had food poisoning, after that you have infection. We are not talking about the use case of someone who have good health. So someone who have good health have a strong immune system. Food poisoning will not impact his life. But people with IBS, from the latest research from Dr. Pimentel, they confirm that people that have IBS, they have food poisoning before. Okay, so maybe you had food poisoning when you had 20 years old, and your infection and your symptoms start 10 years later. Okay, so 10 years later it starts by having some bloating, having some diarrhea, having some constipation. So you have to understand that IBS right now, from the latest research, it is not in your head. People with IBS, they suffer since 10 or 20 or 25 years. They suffer a lot. They are, I know a lot of people who quit their jobs, who have depression, who have anxiety, they cannot go outside. So just to explain to you that the word IBS, it was used since 20 years to explain to the patient that we cannot do anything for you. So it was like a recycle bin. It is in your mind, you have IBS, ciao ciao, bye bye. They give you antidepressant or antispasmodic and something like this. But when you hear IBS, when someone in your family have IBS, you have to understand that IBS, it's really, really, really big sickness, big illness that can destroy lives. So what the latest research from Dr. Pimentel said. So I just do some pictures here to explain to you. As you know, in my first video I try to explain as simple as possible. So we are going to give an example. Mr. James eats maybe in restaurants, and he eats nasty food. Maybe in 2005 he eat nasty food and he has got infection, normal human infection when you eat bad thing. So he start throwing everything away and he gets diarrhea after during 3 days. So during 3 days he takes some antibiotics, it's okay, he feel good. After a while he start to develop other symptoms like constipation, like diarrhea. Maybe it will be after 2 weeks, maybe it will be after 5 years, maybe it will be after 10 years. So James, after 10 years, he starts to have symptoms like bloating, symptoms like diarrhea, symptoms like severe constipation. He starts to develop lot of symptoms and lot of symptoms in invisible illnesses. Because invisible illnesses, what does it mean? You are, for people, you are okay. You walk, you go to work, you feel okay, but they don't understand that your symptom is inside. Okay, so it's very difficult. So James get this infection after 5 years. The symptom starts. What is the meaning of infection? As we say before in the previous video, we have microbiome here. We have bacteria that live in big colon, and there is no bacteria in small intestine. Maybe some, but there is no proliferation. There is no overgrowth. So infection, what is infection? So it is infection, it is bacteria infection, like E. coli or lot of kind of bacteria that do this infection. So you start to have infection. Infection, as Dr. Pimentel said, and what I read from a lot of research, especially with this doctor, that infection starts in small intestine. It can make you bloat, like SIBO patient. It can make you intermittent between bloating, between diarrhea, and between constipation. And the issue in that, what we don't understand right now, and the GI doctor don't talk about this. It is not the impact to your bloating or constipation, the impact or your mental health. We know in latest research that microbiome, it's a part of your head, it's a part of your mind. So when you have infection here, when you have small intestinal bacteria infection, when you have proliferation, when you have a lot of bugs that come and stay in your small intestine and is not supposed to live there, you will get mental disorder. You will get anxiety, you will get depression, you will get everything. And this is the lack, maybe the lack of communication. But doctors should study also the impact. When you have E. coli, what is the impact to the brain? So James, in our example, get the infection. Okay, now he get the infection. He will see 1,000 doctors, everyone will say, it is in your mind, take this. They will maybe do stool test, it will show nothing. So a lot of things, maybe you will do breath test, it will show SIBO, but is not, he is SIBO, yes, because in latest research they say that IBS and SIBO are related. So it is big struggle, big to be understood. Okay, now he got the infection, he win the infection after 10 years after the food poisoning. So when he get the infection, what will your autoimmune program in your health, your autoimmune system, what he will do? Your autoimmune system will try to fight this infection, because this infection is not normal in the body, because the bacteria will create toxin, and toxin is bad for health. So autoimmunity, or your autoimmune system will try to fight this bacteria and to fight this toxin, and you will be every day in inflammation that is invisible with the eye. People will think that you are crazy, but you are not crazy, but you are living autoimmune disease. So now the old story that IBS, it's come from your head, it's destroyed with Dr. Pimenta research. Okay, now you are autoimmune disease because toxins that are created from the bacteria, the autoimmune system try to beat them, but it doesn't work. So this fighting, what is the impact of this fighting, the autoimmune system fighting the toxin and fighting the bacteria? The impact in your small intestine, maybe in your colon, maybe in stomach, it will destroy your gut nerve. Your gut nerve damage, it will be destroyed. And I see in research that this gut nerve, these small nerves that we have in intestine and the stomach and the colon, they act, and the gut nerve act like moving, like muscles. The gut nerve try to move foods from your stomach to your small intestine to the colon. So when your gut nerve is damaged because your system is fighting the toxin and the toxin is destroying your gut nerve, food stop maybe in small intestine and stay for 5 hours or 6 hours. And this lead to bloating, lead to constipation, lead to diarrhea, lead to fermentation. And this is the gut nerve damage. Your nerve system is damaged in your whole GI tract, and let you imagine what the impact in your head. So after this, foods are not moving. This come to bacteria overgrowth. Bacteria overgrowth, the fermentation of food will create lot of bacteria in your small intestine, and will create you a big colony, a big country of bacteria. And SIBO, it is a SIBO infected, and SIBO now, for researchers, SIBO is related to IBS. So you will have maybe thousands of bad bacteria that come and colonize and live in your small intestine. And as I said before, bacteria should not live in the small intestine. So when there is a bacteria overgrowth in the small intestine, you will become craziness. Mr. James will become crazy. Crazy for his family, crazy for his doctor, crazy for everywhere. Everyone will see Mr. James. He's crazy because he's feeling bad. And the issue with invisible illnesses, you seem for people that you are okay because you are walking, but they don't see you're struggling in toilets, and you struggle every day, and the impact of this overgrowth in your mental health. As I said before, there is a lack of science there. They talk about symptoms, they talk about what affect the GI tract, but the interaction between the gut microbiome and your mental health, it's not clear understood right now. So Mr. James became crazy, and you will see he will eat lot of pills, anti-anxiety, he will go to emergency, he will lose his money, and he will become like this. So this is funny. I know it is not funny. people who have IBS, but we have to laugh and try to be optimistic. Okay, so this is the sickness called, the illness is called IBS. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my videos, and if you want, you can share or create a comment. Thank you. Bye bye.